Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. Last week on the 11th of May, India completed 20 years of its journey as a nuclear power. The nuclear test at Pokhran was announced by then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. The news was greeted with jubilation in India, but world powers were left stunned. As punishment, the international community bombarded India with sanctions and isolation. 2 decades on, India has not just overcome the international obstacles, it has succeeded in striking a nuclear deal with the United States. It has also acquired membership of 3 of the 4 global non-proliferation regimes, besides getting a waiver from the NSG, opening doors that had been shut for India after the Pokhran tests. In today's edition of In Depth, let's take a look back at how the Pokhran tests were conducted, the government's efforts to keep the operation secret, and the costs that the country faced after the tests. The Pokhran 2 test refers to India's second round of nuclear tests that were conducted at Pokhran 20 years ago. Although the test was based on the principle of using nuclear power for peaceful means, it was greeted with a spate of international sanctions. An explosive leap 20 years ago on the 11th of May 1998 that landed India into the Nuclear Weapon Powers Club. The landmark nuclear test Pokhran 2 was conducted at the Pokhran test range in Rajasthan's Jaisalmer district. It took place on one of the hottest days of the year. When most of the world was sleeping, India entered the nuclear era. Although the decision was taken after great deliberation, the world reacted in a way that would affect the future of India. But today, what is clear is that the action was not only timely, but also inevitable.
Today, at 15:45 hours, India conducted 3 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran range. These tests conducted today were with a fission device, a low-yield device, and a thermonuclear device.
The summer of 1998 was quite challenging for India's nuclear scientists. A team of over 100 scientists, around 58 engineers and soldiers were specially chosen for the crucial task. They were told to take all the measures to ensure total secrecy. The Pokhran site was under surveillance. American satellites and CIA were continuously tracking its activities. However, India was able to deceive spy satellites of the United States and other countries while carrying out the test. The tests were done under the leadership of then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and country's nuclear scientist and missile man APJ Abdul Kalam. Before this, India carried out its first nuclear test on the 18th of May 1974 in Pokhran in an operation code named Smiling Buddha. The Pokhran 2 nuclear tests on the 11th of May 1998 were codenamed Operation Shakti.
This day will always be remembered as a golden day as far as India's science and technology is concerned. On this day, for the second time, we were able to fool the entire world and carry out nuclear explosions. 5 explosions were carried out. One was in the range of 20 kiloton, which was a total success. Another was a thermonuclear, that is a hydrogen bomb, which some people say it was a success, others say it was not a success. And there were 3 explosions which experimented with sub-kiloton weapons of yield 0.2 tons, 0.3 tons and 0.5 tons. Consequent to this, India's voice was internationally recognized. India's importance and weightage gained unbelievable preponderance. That notwithstanding, all sorts of sanctions were imposed on us. But India displayed a few things. Firstly, a technological capability that surprised the world once again. Secondly, that India could hold the secret close to the chest within the country, and externally nobody had even an inkling that India is going to go nuclear. The American satellites were fooled, the American intelligence agencies were fooled, so were the intelligence agencies of every other country. And we were able to do what we wanted to do, much to the disconcert of the rest of the world.
After its first nuclear test in 1974, India became capable of making its own nuclear bomb. But it did not declare itself a nuclear weapons-enabled country. The Pokhran 2 tests, however, brought India into the nuclear mainstream and opened up the global nuclear market for development of nuclear power. Pokhran 2 was a series of 5 nuclear bomb test explosions conducted by India on the 11th and 13th of May in 1998. After these tests, then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee declared India a full-fledged nuclear state. Although India had become the world's 6th nuclear power after the United States, Soviet Union, Britain, France and China in 1974 itself, Vajpayee's announcement formalized the status.
In 1998, India conducted 5 tests in Pokhran. Through these 5 tests, India had tested a range of weapons. One was fission device, second was hydrogen bomb, and third were miniaturized weapons. There were 3 tests for miniaturized weapons. And through all these tests, India announced its intent to become a nuclear weapon country. In 1974, India had conducted peaceful nuclear explosion, which was allowed in international law. And several countries had conducted peaceful nuclear explosion to experiment and to verify or validate many of their peaceful activities. So India also did the same. So the purpose of 1974 test was technology demonstration, not weaponization. On the contrary, in 1998, the tests were conducted for weaponizing India's capabilities.
Post-1999, 11th of May, the day of the first of the 5 explosions during the Pokhran 2 nuclear weapons testing, was officially declared as National Technology Day. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. So since 1998, 11th of May is observed as National Technology Day to honor the country's scientific technological achievements. It also marks the day when India became a full-fledged nuclear power. In this report, let's take a look at how the country's ambitious nuclear program evolved. When India conducted its second round of tests at Pokhran, the world was shocked, primarily because of the utmost secrecy with which they were conducted. Consequently, India not just faced criticism, but also sanctions and international isolation. But Pokhran 2 was more of a necessity for the country. The government assured the world that India's nuclear arms were for peaceful purposes. Efforts towards building the nuclear bomb, infrastructure and research on related technologies were undertaken by India since the Second World War. Origins of India's nuclear program date back to 1944, when nuclear physicist Homi Bhabha began persuading the Indian Congress towards harnessing nuclear energy. A year later, he established the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. In 1950s, preliminary studies were carried out at the BARC and plans were developed to produce plutonium and other bomb components. In 1962, the Sino-India War took place, in which India suffered heavy casualties. Just 2 years later, China conducted its nuclear test in 1964. In 1966, when Indira Gandhi became the Prime Minister, India's nuclear program was consolidated. In 1974, India conducted its first nuclear test, Smiling Buddha.
We had no option but to go in for that explosion in 1988, wherein 5 varieties of weapons were tested. There was a 20 kiloton weapon, which is a notional weapon, which is approximately the same size as was dropped on Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Then a thermonuclear device was tested, which is a hydrogen bomb. The outcome is debated. Some feel that it was a success, others feel that it was not a success. And 3 sub-kiloton, 0.2 kiloton, 0.3 kiloton and 0.5 kiloton. And thereafter we announced to the world that there is no further need for us to do any testing. And we had put a moratorium on our testing on our own and said that hereafter all testing would be done in laboratory through lab models.
1998 tests were conducted in collaboration of Defense Research Development Organization and Department of Atomic Energy. Army raised a special unit to assist the scientists, and many of the scientists had acquired battle fatigue. And just to deceive those who were monitoring or spying on our activities, our nuclear programs, so just to deceive them. So, and we successfully did it. United States was shocked to know that India had already conducted nuclear tests. So we did it very successfully and very dexterously. The world could not get an air about of it. So that was the big success of that program. Before that, we had to postpone some of our tests because the world came to know about it and they were not in its favor. They were not in the favor of India's conducting any nuclear tests.
Post Smiling Buddha, India's nuclear program was severely affected. The world's major nuclear powers imposed a technological embargo on India. For years, the country's nuclear program struggled to gain credibility. In 1998, the BJP emerged victorious in the general elections. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee made it clear that India will not compromise on national security. On the 11th of May 1998, the Atomic Energy Commission, along with the Indian Army, carried out 3 contained nuclear tests, while 2 other tests were conducted on the 13th of May 1998 in the desert of Pokhran. The operation was codenamed Shakti, meaning power. The program was expected to give a boost to India's nuclear plans.
There was a lot of pressure, geopolitical pressure. But he took a decision. India will go ahead with a test to DRDO team and more importantly, Atomic Energy team. Okay, these 2 teams, they were myself and Dr. Chidambaram. We met him. He said, go ahead for the nuclear tests. Vajpayee ji was responsible for transforming India a nuclear weapon state.
Pokhran 2 was a series of 5 nuclear bomb test explosions. It consisted of 5 detonations, of which the first was a fusion bomb and the remaining 4 were fission bombs. The tests were carried out under the leadership of late APJ Abdul Kalam, the former President of India and former head of the Defence Research and Development Organization. Other chief coordinators of the project were Dr. R. Chidambaram, former Chairman of Atomic Energy Commission, Dr. K. Santhanam, former Chief Advisor Technologies DRDO, and Dr. Anil Kagdokar, former Director of the Bhabha Atomic Research Center.
अभिनंदन होना चाहिए वैज्ञानिकों का, उन इंजीनियरों का जिन्होंने पोखरण में जो कुछ हुआ उसे सफलतापूर्वक करके दिखाया.
Although the Pokhran tests opened the floodgates of trouble for India in both economic and military terms, as well as international isolation, they helped the country to break the nuclear monopoly of 5 countries to emerge as the 6th nuclear power in the world. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. After conducting its first nuclear test in 1974, why was India forced to conduct another one? Post-1974, almost every Prime Minister expressed reservations about nuclear tests. But in 1998, then Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee was quite clear about why India needed a nuclear test. In this report, let's find out what these reasons, according to him, were.
On May 18, 1974, India conducted its first nuclear test in Pokhran. It was a peaceful nuclear explosion, but one powerful enough to put India in the league of nuclear power-rich countries. The test was very confidential. After this, the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi did not allow the second test. Even Rajiv Gandhi also avoided the testing. It was not till the time of Narasimha Rao government that India became serious about another test. But even Rao's government didn't carry out the test. That task was left to Atal Bihari Vajpayee when he became the Prime Minister for the second time. But at that point of time, countries across the world were pressurizing India on nuclear non-proliferation. In fact, it is believed that the US had anticipated the tests and even monitored the activities of the Indian Army and scientists at the Pokhran test range and elsewhere. But on 11th May 1998, the test was conducted, and after 2 days, on 13th May, which is when the Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee disclosed the news of tests to the world and gave the reason for these tests to the Parliament.
क्या आत्मरक्षा की तैयारी तभी होगी जब खतरा होगा? अगर तैयारी पहले से हो तो जो खतरा अगर आने वाला है तो खतरा भी दूर हो जाएगा. खतरा अमल में नहीं आएगा। और इसीलिए हमने परमाणु परीक्षण करने का फैसला किया। हमारे कार्यक्रम का अंग है, उसमें लिखा हुआ है।
Vajpayee wanted the test in his first term in office in 1996, but his government couldn't survive too long. Experts say the test was vital then, and there were discussions over the comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty. India had to make an immediate decision. Because if India had signed the CTBT agreement, it would have never been got a chance to carry out a nuclear test. On the other hand, if India had refused to be a part of the treaty, its intentions would have been questioned. And India would have never achieved the political and military goals during that period. But Vajpayee understood the need of hour and took the decision.
Henry Kissinger's memoirs clearly indicate that Nixon considered carrying out a nuclear strike against Calcutta. He uses the word, we were about to vaporize Calcutta had the Pakistanis not surrendered and held on for some more days. The moment we exploded the weapons, the good thing about 1998 and 74 is that the world was taken by total surprise. We showed them the ability of holding secrets close to our chest. The outside world was fooled, and within the country also, nobody had even an inkling of, or an iota of inkling that India is going to do a thing like this. Only 5 people in the country knew about it till such time the announcement was made by us.
After the nuclear test, Atal Bihari Vajpayee made it clear that India had taken these steps under the doctrine of credible minimum nuclear deterrence. India will never use nuclear weapons first. India will never use nuclear weapons against non-nuclear nations. And it will put a temporary ban on the nuclear tests in the coming time.
सचमुच में पोखरण में हम एक और परीक्षण कर सकते थे। लेकिन जब हमें लगा कि वैज्ञानिक तकाजा पूरा हो गया है, तो उस परीक्षण को हमने छोड़ दिया। एटमी हथियार रक्षा के लिए भी हो सकते हैं।
Another major reason behind Pokhran nuclear testing was continuous challenge from neighboring nations. After the wars against China and Pakistan, strengthening national security became essential for the Indian government. Since 1964, China had conducted several nuclear tests. Not only this, India had information that with the help of China, Pakistan has already completed preparations for becoming a nation with nuclear power. From Dr. Homi Jahangir Bhabha, who laid the foundation of the nuclear program in India, to the defense experts and Army's Chief of Staff Committee, all had informed the ruling government of their time that the enemy could not be stopped without the fear of nuclear power. Hence, achieving the nuclear power was extremely important. When Indira Gandhi was in power, it is believed that India will be taken seriously by big powerful nations only after it develops its own nuclear power.
हमारे प्रधान उस समय के प्रधानमंत्री श्री अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी ने इसकी उद्घोषणा की और उन्होंने कहा था कि भारत अब एक परमाणु राष्ट्र है और यह इस तरह की जो सदस्य जिसे कहते हैं स्टेटस और इस तरह की जो बात है वह हम किसी के मुहताज नहीं, कोई हमें परमाणु राष्ट्र कहे या ना कहे, यह विश्व की हकीकत है और विश्व को अब हमें जानना पड़ेगा कि हम इस शस्त्र को रखे हुए हैं और जो हमारे राष्ट्र हैं, दूसरे राष्ट्र हैं जो कि परमाणु बम रखे हुए हैं, हमारे पास भी क्षमता है कि हम उनके किसी भी हिस्से में अगर उन्होंने हमारे ऊपर आक्रमण किया तो हम उसकी जवाबी कार्रवाई करेंगे।
After Pokhran II, US imposed economic, military and technological restrictions on India. Many countries, including Britain, Australia and Japan, did the same. Vajpayee was, however, prepared. In Parliament, he clarified that he did not make policies guided by international pressures. Vajpayee's foresight proved right. Few days after Pokhran II, on 28th and 30th May, Pakistan conducted its nuclear test in Shagai and Kharan. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
India faced a lot of criticism for conducting nuclear tests both in 1974 and in 1998. But the world's attitude towards India changed following the Pokhran 2 tests. Over the years, India has proved that it will take any measures needed to fulfill its nuclear energy demands while adhering to its international commitments.
India was met with hostility from the international community after its first nuclear test in 1974, claiming that the test had breached the 1968 Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and forgetting the fact that it was a nuclear power itself. The United States imposed nuclear sanctions, but India got Russia's support at that time. In response to the Indian nuclear test, the Nuclear Suppliers Group was founded in 1974. The aim of the group was to further limit the export of the nuclear equipment used in the manufacture of the nuclear weapons by signing the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. The international community also pressurized India to become signatories to the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty and the Nuclear Proliferation Treaty. After nuclear tests in 1998, India once again met with stiff opposition from the international community. But since then, the world's attitude towards India changed, mainly due to the country's peaceful history. The India-US nuclear deal was initiated in 2005 and the Civil Nuclear Cooperation Agreement between both the countries was signed in 2006. The NSG waiver on September 2008 lifted the over 3-decade ban that allowed India the legal right to trade for civilian nuclear fuel and technology.
Our program is entirely a homemade program. It's been funded entirely by our own efforts. Our own scientific technology and scientific talent has been put to use. Others, if you look at Pakistan, their entire program has virtually been gifted to them by either the Chinese, as far as the missile technology is concerned, by the North Koreans. In our case, it was whole soul effort is indigenous. Similarly, North Korea, entire thing has been through stolen technologies or through nuclear proliferators. To that extent, India's program cannot be compared with anybody else's. And secondly, our program, we have not been a proliferator at all. Either for money or for any other allurements, we haven't passed on anything that could be damaging to anybody else as far as humankind is concerned.
Now India is also a member of the Missile Technology Control Regime, the Wassenaar Agreement on the export controls for conventional arms, and the Australia Group, which is a multilateral export control regime, making it a strong contender to get an entry in the Nuclear Supplier Group. While the US, France and Germany have supported India's bid for the NSG membership, China remains the biggest obstacle.
China should reconcile itself to India's growing role in the world and a very positive role which India has been playing. It doesn't have aggressive nuclear design. It has already declared its intent to not use nuclear weapons against any non-nuclear weapon country. Third, it is committed to not use nuclear weapons first. China is opposing India's candidature by using Pakistan's card, that all the non-NPT countries should be taken into account when you are granting membership. We can hope that by the time next plenary meeting takes place in June or maybe next year, China reconcile itself to the Indians' nuclear reality.
India is keen to become a member of the Nuclear Suppliers Group to significantly expand its nuclear power generation and also enter the nuclear export market. Since the formation of India's Atomic Energy Commission in 1948, India's nuclear power has only managed to reach 6,780 megawatt with 22 nuclear reactors. But with NSG membership, the subsequent opening of the export market, India will be able to achieve 60,000 megawatt power by 2030. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in this edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time tomorrow with a focus on another topic or an issue. With that, I wrap up today's edition. Thanks for your time.